Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mabimpressions. Today we're looking at a game called Tormented Souls. This game was developed by Dual Effects, Abstract Digital, and published by PQ Limited. This is a survival horror, psychological horror in general. Think Silent Hill and Resident Evil, the old school style, but modernized. Yes, so it is for $20 US, what I have to say is a very, very fair price. And it came out August 26, 2021. And at the moment of this review, it has over 100 very positive reviews. And I have to say, I highly agree with them. So let's quickly talk about the story without spoilers. You play as this girl named Caroline. You start the game, you're in your house, and you get this letter from a John Doe, meaning like, hey, it's a medical term for someone who doesn't have a name. He sends you this letter, and there's a picture of two twin girls. You look at the picture, and it says on the back, "You can't forget us," or something like that. You look at it, and your head starts to hurt. You end up going to the hospital where these two are staying at, and you get knocked out. This is the first 2 minutes of the game, by the way. You get knocked out, you wake up, and you are trapped in this mansion, and you're trying to figure out why you were here, how do you get out, etc. Without spoiling a lot, because the story is pretty crazy, and it's there. So like I said, the genre of the game is survival horror. So definitely, if you are old school Resident Evil fans, play this game. It is what I would expect AAA survival horror games to be. So good. And the target audience, it's not for the casuals. It's definitely not for casuals. If you're going in here looking for hand-holding, walkthroughs, very obvious puzzles, very easy combat, no. It's punishing, but also extremely rewarding. Let's move on to the gameplay section. So, the majority of the time you will be spent doing in this game is exploring your environments, primarily the hospital/mansion. Just like in older Resident Evil and Silent Hill games, you're going to be going through different rooms, picking up items, solving puzzles, fighting enemies. In this game, you have a melee weapon, you have a couple of range weapons, and yes, you do have to make sure you keep track of all of your resources, health with your regen items. You have ammo for everything, and of course, one of the biggest things that they brought back here, which is very polarizing for sure, which is essentially Resident Evil ink ribbons in the form of tapes. You have to go to save rooms, and you have a certain amount of saves in the game, so you have to make sure, hey, do I want to save here, or maybe do I want to make a little more progress and move on and keep saving it there? The combat isn't extensive, but you're not a fighter character. You're not like an assassin ninja. You're just a girl who found these items, and it kind of, it fits the theme. You are very clunky with your weapons, and you do have a dodge button for most of them. And in some cases, while you do have to defeat enemies if you want to safely scour, explore, and loot a room, you can go ahead and dodge them sometimes, but you have to pick and choose your battles. Now, some more specifics. The puzzles in this game are, I would say, if I were to hold on, okay, so I think a better way to do this would say, if I were to have a pie of the different types of gameplay in this game, it would be 20% exploration, right? 30% combat, and 50% puzzling. That is how balanced the game is in those types of game mechanics. And even though 50% is puzzles, it is very good puzzles. This is one of those games where, sometimes it's like, oh, pick something up and move it here, or match the color. You can see numbers. Can you add shapes? Wow. This game has a little bit of that, but primarily it is puzzles where you have to have a keen eye. You have to look at items. You have to remember numbers. You have to really pull outside the box. A lot of these puzzles have to do with sequencing, remembering real world stuff. It is very rewarding, and it can turn some people off, and you will get stuck at times for sure. it's gonna be very interesting because I'm playing it. There's no reason to replay it again for me, but I would love to watch other people go through this, and I want to see exactly how they solve puzzles. Are they using a YouTube walkthrough? Disclaimer, I personally had to use one from time to time, just so I know that, hey, this is exactly how you solve the puzzle, and then we come to our own conclusion, or whether or not we want to go to a certain area in the game just to save time, because this game does have quite a lot of backtracking, and so, just like the old school games, you're going to be going through rooms and rooms, and honestly, like, if I go through this game maybe a week later, I might still remember the layout of the place, because you're going through it so much, but it's very good. It's very fun. And then, like I said, the puzzles are great. It's going to be interesting to see how everyone receives those puzzles. So that's the majority of the game. The combat is limited for sure. And there isn't that many enemies, but it is what it is. Now for the presentation, holy crap, this game is beautiful, dude. I play it on high textures. It goes to very high. The shadows are insane. A lot of people will probably be playing at the default brightness that they recommend. You can turn it up a little bit and it definitely won't take away from the experience. The game is still crazy dark. It is atmospheric as fuck. This game, the graphics are great. The models are great. The enemies are terrifying. One of my favorite things of this game is simply the environments. They are handcrafted, dude. It feels like a AAA game, dude. It really does. And the music and all the sound effects, the guttural noises enemies make, you can hear the piano music playing right now, probably on the main menu screen I'm playing here for the music. And when enemies are on the screen, tensions ramp up and the music gets more stressful, and when you defeat them, it slowly lulls down. It's a very good musical enhancements of the overall atmosphere. So presentation, it's good. It looks like an updated version of those old games that you really, really want. All right, now for the amazing pros and cons feature, this section of the video for reviewing, it's gonna be a little all over the place. Well, let's definitely talk about what do I absolutely like. If I were to say you have to play this game because of this, these are the definite reasons. If you like old school survival games, I keep comparing it to Resident Evil and Silent Hill, old school, because they themselves say it's inspired by that. And I have to say, there's a lot of similarities here. But hey, what do you do if you play a modern Resident Evil game? You play RE8. And yeah, RE8 felt like a roller coaster that holds your hand. I played it all the way through. It was whatever, dude. But this game, it's nostalgic for sure. And I do have to talk about the old school mechanics that are in here. First of all, the camera angles are fixed. It's not like, in these games today where you control a 3D character with your left stick and then maybe use the right stick to hover around and move. These are fixed angles. And I guess if you are, a newer gamer or even a younger gamer, you might not have played those types of games. So it's not that weird to me. But there are some instances where they have like weird Dutch angles where it's like, super angled, almost crazy diagonal on its head. There are definite times where you're running towards the camera, and sure, it makes everything look good, but then you are going to be running into enemies here and there. And I guess that is the bad part about it, is the old school mechanics are fun and they're there, but unless you can accept them and you're happy with them, they can take away from the experience. One of them, besides the camera angle that people might not like, is the fact that there are ink ribbons and limited saves. After the first session I played this, which was like 8 hours or so, I went on over to the Steam page. I wanted to see how people were reviewing it, if they liked it as much as I did. A lot of people did. I scrolled down and I did see a negative review, and I'm like, oh, well, what do they not like about it? And then some guy was all like, blah, 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 like a lot of text. And then he said, oh, yeah, and they also brought back the mechanic of you losing all of the progress you made because you died and you got punished. And there was a ton of upvotes on it, meaning people might have the same opinion. Yes, this is definitely an old school mechanic where it does not autosave. You don't go to a place and it autosaves. You have to make it back to a safe house. But in a survival horror, I expect it to be that way. Maybe in a newer game, AAA game that is, you know, supposed to be for everyone, yeah, okay, you can have your Resident Evil 8 autosaves. But for like more intimate horror atmospheric games that rely on scares, tension, just, you need that. You need it. Not only are you managing your resources, you know, like, do I want to shoot this guy, or maybe I'm going to dodge and attack him? And oh, do I really need a heal, or can I take another hit? Do I need to save here, or can I keep going forward so I can earn more progress and then save when I feel safe, when I feel comfortable saving? You don't want to save 2 minutes after you saved again, because you didn't really make that much progress. It adds more. It's kind of like a push your luck thing, where like, okay, I don't know what's coming up, but yeah, I only saved 10 minutes ago. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And then you end up furthering along, and then you're not able to make it to a save room, and then you're like, damn, I need to find a save right away. And then it adds to the stress, but it also adds to the fun of what these games are all about, dude. The unknown monsters, the unknown layouts, running around and trying to survive. This game, Tormented Souls, is a very, very good game. And honestly, my final verdict, it's one of my games of the year. I just finished it, but my god, the game's only $20. And it took me around 10 to 13 hours to beat. And that was with help from hanging out with chats and a little bit of walkthrough, so we can get through it in a timely manner. If you're going through this completely 100% blind and you want zero outside help, I would say it's going to take you 15 to 18 hours, unless you're really damn good, and then maybe around 10 to 13 hours. But yeah, there are some things you really have to think about. Puzzles, for sure. There's a lot of puzzles in this thing. But yeah, I think definitely the most rewarding experience would be blind. But of course, because I'm recording it and streaming it, I had to use a little bit of the walkthrough. But yeah, this game is really good. So I'm going to give it my final rating of 100%. Yes, 100% yeah. So one of my top games of the year. Very, very high quality game for $20. Definitely support these guys. I want them to make more games. So good. You can play the whole game on controller as well. I did. Oh god, Tormented Souls is tight. So if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. It helps a lot. If you haven't already subbed for daily videos, I am putting my whole Tormented Souls playthrough on the channel. I am cutting it somewhat, but they are long episodes still, because we don't want to cut everything out. But some backtracking, and definitely when I'm stuck on puzzles, I will cut some of that out. But for the most part, it's all there. So please watch. I'll be uploading this thing probably on the 28th, the review, and then throughout the week I'll put the rest of the content up so you guys can watch it there. So come on by the Twitch. This is where I streamed all of it, and of course subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.